Hey you guys, guess what's coming up? Thanksgiving. The holidays is a great time to make some homemade rolls. Most people don't want to make them. They think they're way too much trouble, and they're really not, and they're absolutely fantastic. You can make them one day ahead and just slightly undercook them so that when you put them back in to warm them up, they're amazing. This recipe came from my sister-in-law's great-grandmother, Jane's. My sister-in-law Lori gave me this recipe a couple years ago, and I just absolutely love it. I have a tendency to make the rolls way too big, so this time I'm trying to make them smaller. All right, so we're gonna start. You have 1/3 cup of oil, 1/3 cup of sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of room temperature water. We are just going to mix that. All right, we're gonna set that aside and I'll be right back. Okay, we also have 1 egg slightly beaten, and here's the most important part. You have 1 cup of water that is warm and it is not hot, so I have my temperature gauge here and it has to be between 100 and 110 degrees. So right now it is 108. So I am going to add my active yeast, 2 packages of active yeast. Oh, I should have put this in the big bowl. It works better in the big bowl, sorry. I don't know why. I like watching it foam. All right, we're gonna let that sit probably for 5 to 10 minutes. Once you start seeing it foaming, and we'll show you what that looks like close up, we're just gonna let all of this sit until this is ready. We'll be back. Okay, while we're waiting for our yeast to take hold or whatever, set, I wanna show you something else that's a trick. Don't dip your cup in the flour. Put it over another cup and gently spoon it in there, because then it's not packed down, right? So it's nice and fluffy. Otherwise you get a product, end up with bread or biscuit that's way too dense. So I do it into another bowl. I overfill it. Then I kind of measure it off and I put it into that big bowl. That is the way you measure flour and drop spoons so that you don't have too dense of a product when you're done. Talk to you soon. I have my food processor out, and if you don't have one, you can still do this, but it's a little bit more difficult. All right, we just want to show you real quick what the yeast looks like. It is a little foamy. You can see that we used a little bit of a fork. So we are going to combine our water ingredients with that 1 egg slightly beaten. We're just going to incorporate all of that. All right. Now we have our 5 cups of flour, but we want to add just 3 cups to the machine. 1, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not, this part's not an exact science. 3, we're going to lift this. If I can figure out how to do it. There we go. All right, and I'm going to add this in. Okay, so it's gonna make a nice thick batter for us. All right. And you have to use a pastry hook. All right, we'll be back. All right, so we are still beating this. We're gonna kind of push down the sides so they get incorporated. You can see that's a really thick batter. So at this point, we're gonna start adding more and more flour. It's kind of, until it gets to be like a bread consistency, like a thick dough. All right, you just keep working on it. Okay, you can see that we've added the majority of our flour, and it's starting to form a ball in there, okay? It'll keep forming a ball and making a mess. And then that ball is going to kind of go along the sides and start pulling it away from the side, which is exactly what you want. All right, we'll keep going with this part. You can kind of see that it's formed a big ball. So we're going to turn that off. Take this off. Of course, I can't do it. And it's a little bit sticky, but we're gonna kind of pull it away. Oh yeah, okay. That is very sticky. All right, I'm gonna put flour on my board so we can start kneading. Talk to you soon. One of the things you wanna make sure is that you have no rings on, that your hands are really clean. And so here's what we ended up with. I don't know if you can see this. Can they see it? Okay. Katie's my production manager. She comes very cheap. All right, so kneading. You're gonna pull it towards you and just keep going. Turn it a quarter of a turn every time. And just, you're gonna do this for about 8 minutes. That's why you see all those Italian grandmas with those big burly arms, because they do this all the time. I am dying to learn how to make pasta. I've tried it a couple times. I've done well, but I haven't mastered it yet. But so I hope that you love Thanksgiving as much as we do. I have so many memories of all of our cousins going to my Aunt Eleanor's house and Uncle George's house, playing in the backyard. I don't really remember dinner because we were playing so much, but I just remember so many people. My grandparents were there, all the aunts and uncles. And we always have a big Thanksgiving. We usually have 20 to 30 people, and it's very fun. All right, I'm gonna keep going with this. And you want it to be smooth. That's the consistency that you're going for. And what this does is it takes the yeast and puts it all the way through the dough. All right, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. We've been kneading for about 5 to 8 minutes on a floured surface. And you can kind of see it's gotten into a ball. And it's very smooth, and it bounces back when you press it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dump it in here. We're going to roll it around so it gets all the butter on it. We're gonna turn it over in a nice ball. We're going to cover this with a towel. Ooh, I dropped it on the floor. 5-second roll. And I am gonna put this, okay, I have this bay window in my front living room that's amazing. The sun streams in there. So I'm gonna put it there, making sure the dogs stay outside because you know they go after it. You can put this on top of a warm dryer. It has to be somewhere warm because what you want this to do is you want it to rise for 30 to 60 minutes and it's gonna double in size. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so we have finished rising. You can see that it's a lot bigger. We're gonna pull it out. It just is so soft and pillowy. We are going to knead it. Oh my gosh, you guys, it feels amazing. We're gonna knead it just a tiny bit. Oh, I wish you could smell this and feel it. It's amazing. Okay, now we have a 9x13 pan. We're gonna need 2 of these because this makes a lot of rolls. And this time I'm gonna try not to make them too big. So you're just gonna take off a tiny piece. You're gonna cut it. You're gonna kind of fold it over. Make it look like a big golf ball or whatever. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm trying to make them smaller, but I have a tendency to make them ginormous. I don't know why. Now, you want to have your pan buttered. Do not skimp on this step and use any spray. Really, these are homemade rolls. They deserve butter. They deserve the real stuff. All right, we're gonna keep going on this and we'll be back. Okay, we've got our pans almost full. You can choose to either put them closer together or put them a little bit further apart. I have a tendency to like them a little bit further apart. All right, but here's our last one. So we're gonna kind of show you how to do this. You're gonna kind of stretch it and then just roll it and then kind of, what do you call that? Do it at the bottom, whatever you're talking about, and put it in there. We're gonna cover these again and we're gonna let them rise for another 30 minutes. Cover them, put them in a warm spot. They're gonna double in size. Then we're gonna douse them in some butter and throw them in the oven. See you soon. Okay, these have doubled. You can see right here, they're nice, they're soft, they're fluffy. I have melted a half a stick of butter. You might need a little bit more. I told you this was not a diet dish. We are just topping these with butter. Now, if you're doing them for Thanksgiving, it might not be a good idea to do the cinnamon and sugar. But if you have ham or you're serving them for something else, we have some cinnamon and sugar here. And we're just gonna top these with it. These would be great, I think, served like at a barbecue or something like that. Okay, we're gonna finish this off. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. La, 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 la. Okay, I'm probably gonna add more. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna pop these in the oven at 350 for 25 to 30 minutes. The objective is to get them nice and golden brown. Remember, if you're making them the day before Thanksgiving, you might wanna undercook them a tiny bit, leave them covered in foil overnight in the refrigerator, and then the next day when you put them in the oven, they're gonna cook the rest of the way and be spectacular. See you in a second. Look at these. Are they beautiful? Okay, it might be too hot, but look at that. Oh, look at how gorgeous that is. Oh my gosh. Okay, cinnamon sugar, very good. All right, here's the deal. Thanksgiving is very special. I have some of the best memories at my brother's house with all my siblings and all the grandkids running around and taking pictures and playing games and going out to dinner. If you don't have family nearby, create your own family. Call some friends over, make a meal, buy a meal, doesn't matter. Just sit down and have some fun together because that's really what it's all about. If you get so inclined, make these and let me know how you like them. Happy holidays.